So, before starting and jumping to the exercises of listening skills, first we have to know what is listening. So, listening entails focusing intently on what is being said, but listening is more than just hearing. It is the brain's assimilation of words or sentences' meaning. Understanding concept and fact is made possible by listening. There's another way to put it in this: hearing and listening are two different things. Receiving sound is what hearing is all about. It's about giving the sound meaning. Active listening differs from passive listening. To put it another way, hearing is limited to the sound. You can perceive, whereas listening necessitates focus and more. When you listen, you take in not just the narrative, but also the way it is told, the language and voice used, and the way the other person moves. Stated differently, it refers to the awareness of both spoken and non-spoken cues. Your correspondence, the degree to which you perceive and comprehend these messages will determine how well you can listen. In reality, listening involves identifying communication gaps by examining body language and nonverbal signs. When people tell you that they are happy with their life, for example, but is gritting their teeth or have tears in their eyes, you should notice that there may be an issue between their verbal and nonverbal indication. Maybe they don't mean that what they say beyond merely hearing is being said. Listening also requires concentration and the use of additional senses. So, there are lot of exercises which include in this lecture. First is some listening exercise designed to improve listening skills, comprehension, and the critical thinking. These each exercise is accomplished by the instruction and the potential discussions points. So, first point is climate and environmental issue. If there is some climate or environmental problem, so the while having the podcast, for example, there is some podcast between two-person or 2 to 3 person. They podcast experts say, "Welcome to Green Earth, where we explore the latest in the environmental sciences." Today, we have to discuss the alarming rate of deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Recent studies show that the deforestation has accelerated, posing a severe threat to biodiversity and contributing to the climate change. Experts argue immediate action is necessary to implement sustainable practices and protect these vital ecosystems. So, the podcast experts are say that there is a lot of deforestation in the forests and having a severe threats of biodiversity which contributes to the climate changes because of global warming. And the commentary was like the listening to this podcast highlights the addressing environment issue. They detailed the statistics and the experts' opinion, which provided a comprehensive understanding of the challenge, which is possible solution. It is all called action for individuals and policymakers alike to prioritize sustainability. First, I have completed that the environmental changes and the climate changes issues. Second is artificial intelligence and technology. See, if you watch some lecture clip in, for example, in today's sessions, we just delve into the ethical implications of artificial intelligence. While artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize industries, upgrading industries is also rate the it also raises the significant ethics ethical questions. For example, how do we ensure that artificial intelligence do not perpetuate existing biases, and what measures should have to be taken to protect automation increases, because there's a lot of AI has been increasing in today's world. So then commentary was like, say, this lecture undergoes in the importance of the ethical consideration in the artificial intelligence development. The speaker's point about the biases and the job displacements prompt listening to think critically what the broader social impacts of the technology has been said. And it is a reminder, it is a very good reminder that innovation should be guided by ethically framework towards in the society. Next, mental health awareness. So interview segment was like that. Today's on Mind Matters, we just talk about Dr. Shane Smith, a clinical psychologist. He is a clinical psychologist about the importance of mental health in the workplace. See, today's having a very pressurized work area, and when you are in workplace, you have literally mental health uh, comes towards regarding your workplace, and it's also affect your physical health, because people used to take very depression and takes very different suggestions to the people. So she suggests that the employer should provide a mental health resources and create an environment where employees feel comfortable in discussing their mental well-being. So commentary said that Dr. Smith interview sheds light on the critical role of mental health in professional settings. Her insight courage employees to adopt more and supportive practices. This segment is particularly impactful and the practical advice fostering the healthy mental workplace. Next is space exploration. See, this is very nice and very innovative example I've seen. Documentary narration as humanity looks to the star. The Mars 2024 mission represents a giant leap for mankind. This mission aims to establish the first human settlement on Mars, paving the way for future colonizations. The challenges are immense for ensuring sustainable life support system, to protecting astronauts for cosmic radiations, because there's too much radiations up there. However, the potential rewards are equally great, promising new scientific discoveries are possibly for a multi-planetary species. So what the documentary or commentary said, the documentary on the space explorations, which ignites curiosity about the future of human space travel. It also balanced the excitement of new discoveries with the practical challenges of such ambitious endeavor. This contain inspires listening to think what the future of humanity beyond the earth. Next is global economics. In global economics, see, this is a, for example, this is having a some news report. Good evening, this is global news. In today's economic segment, we explore the impact of the recent trade and agreement between the United States and China. Economists predict that these agreements will boost and trade reduce traffics, fostering economic growth in both countries. However, some experts warn that the long-term effects are uncertain, particularly in terms of job market and global trade dynamics. What commentary has said, the news report provides a balanced view of the potential benefits and risks of new trade agreement. And it also highlights the complexity of the global economic and the needs for careful analysis of policy changes, because there's a lot of changes in the policies. Listener has to nuisance that understanding how such agreements can affect economic and multiple levels. Now, we will talk about health and nutrition. So in health nutrition, there's an educational video script like. In today's episode of Healthy Living, we will explore the benefit of a balanced diet. A balanced diet which include a variety of fruits, vegetable, whole grain, lean proteins, etc. These food also provide the essential nutrition that support overall, overall health. We also discuss how to read nutrition label and make healthier food choices while shopping. So commentary said the educational video that provides clear and practical advice on maintaining a balanced diet. It emphasizes the importance of making informed food choices and understand what the nutrition level is. This content is a valuable for anyone looking improve to the dietary habits and overall health. Before jump to the history of Asian civilization example, we will go through to the significance of listening. What is the basic significance of the listening are? So the listening skills basically include to pick up the new knowledge or a language, which is listening is one of the four fundamental abilities. The remaining three are active abilities, which is speaking, reading, and writing. While listening and reading are the receptive skills. Since a small baby learns to recognize language by listening, listening is obviously crucial for language learners for all these trips. The ability to gain a new knowledge through listening makes listening crucial. For English language learner, listening is a crucial since it provides them with knowledge on vocabulary grammar, pronunciation, spoken words, the stress pattern in the words, phrases, and sentences. The impact it expects in the essence of the voice tone and the vocal pitch which we use, which we told you earlier, and what is the intonations? Intonation is that the voice tones and the voice pitch can have an listener's understanding of the message is added to these. Basically, the students gains important insights about what makes for fluent spoken English by listening, some of which are conscious and some of which are subconscious. The student may also take notes and remember words and phrases that they know are appropriate for their own use in the future after hearing them for a teacher is a native speaker. So, in today's lecture, we learn of many examples of listening and the commentary, what commentary has been said. Now, history of Asian civilization. Welcome to see this is the auto guide. See what in when you go to watch some Asian civilization and monuments, there's a guide over there which told you each and everything. So, auto guide said that welcome to the tour of Asian Egypt. As we stand before the Great Pyramid of Giza, consider the engineer marvels which achieved by ancient Egyptians. This pyramid, built over 4,500 years ago, was the tallest man-made structure in the world for the millennia. The craftsman and the architecture precision still amaze historians and the engineers today. So, commentary said the audio guide provides a fascinating glimpse into the achievement of ancient Egypt. It combines our historical facts with vivid descriptions and having a contain with the educational, with engaging the persons. And see, the listeners also transport back in the time and gaining a deeper appreciation for ancient engineering culture. They would go back in times and they were like, yeah, this is so beautiful. This is, we got to know this thing, new thing. We explore new, more things. So these are the examples which provide a mixed informative thoughts and thought-provoking content that can also enhance the listening skills and meaningful reflection and discussions. So these are the some listening exercises which we have to go through one by one. First is active listening exercise. Okay. Before start active listening exercise, We all know what is active listening. We have to present over there without any distractions. We have to stay in attention. So in this is the objective. What is the objective of active listening? Improve focus and detailed retention. So this is the activity. Choose a partner. Choose your partner accordingly. Pair up with someone. Selection of the topic. One person talk about a specific topic for 2 to 3 minutes. For example, a favorite hobby, recent trip where you go for the trip, or interesting article that audience is going to uh, correlate with you. Having a summary. After the 2 to 3 minutes, the listener got summarized it what you heard in 1 minute. Then keep in mind that you have to discuss points. What details were easiest to remember? Did summarize help you understanding, improving understanding? And how did it feel to actively listening without interrupting? So practice this exercise. Now, second exercise is for listening for key details. The objective of this, identify and retain key information. Activity is select a short audio clip, choose a podcast, start new segments, and or you can also make in for educational video. This video is could be 3 to 5 minutes long. Listen carefully. Yes, you have to listen carefully of the audio clip twice if needed, thrice if needed. Take your pen, start noting it. Write down the main points and the key detail mentioned. Listening to the video and start the writing and note down the notes which you think that yeah, this is the important topic which I have to mention. Compare notes. Discuss with the group or partner to compare and complete your notes. Discuss points. See which details were mentioned by everyone. Were there any detail that only one person noticed? It may be possible that what you notice, what another person didn't notice. How can listening for key details improve overall comprehension? Start learning this activity. Third is reflective listening exercises. Objective of this exercises is develop empathy and deeper understanding. So activity is engage in a conversation, start wind up with a person, meet them and start engage in the conversation. Ask a partner what their day or recent experience. You can ask your partner also that how was your day, what you have been done in your full day, what is your experience. Then you can reflect back. After they respond, you reflect what you heard by saying that you will say, yeah, sir, I heard you did what you say that, and you can continue your conversation. If you have some query or if you have some question, you can clarify again asking him. Ask clarify questions to ensure that understanding the perspectives is fully indulged. So these are the discussion points which you have to discuss. How did reflective listening change the dynamic of the conversation? Did the speaker feel understood and valued? What challenges did you face while trying to reflect back accurately? Next is predicting content. Objective of predicting content is to enhance focus and anticipation skills. Activity of this predicting content is select an audio segment. Choose a lecture, choose a podcast, or any story. If you want to choose, you can choose any type of thing. Predict the content, start predicting it. Before listening, start predicting it, what the audio will be about based on the title and what are the available contents over there. Kindly listen and confirm that what the audio is and how accurately I was predicting it, and what your prediction is and what the video is. Discussion the prediction. This yes, discuss with your partner or your group about your prediction. That actual content it was a great. Then what are the discuss points you have to discuss with your partner? How accurate were your prediction? What cues did you use to make your prediction? How did predicting content affect your listening experience? Now, summarizing and paraphrasing. Objective of summarizing and paraphrasing are improve comprehension and retention. You have to improve comprehensions and retention while summarizing and paraphrasing of the activity, and these are the activity which you have to follow, and you have to discuss the points after this short activity. So activity is listen to a short story or new clips. Choose an audio clip 2 to 4 minutes. Summarize it after listening while write a brief summary of the content in your own words. Try to write your summary in your own words, then paraphrase it and make the key point and share them with your partner, with your groups, and compare summaries. Discuss and compare with your summaries and paraphrase it. So afterwards, after activity, you can discuss the point, which is what were the main points you included in your summary? How did paraphrasing help reinforce your understanding? Were there any difference in the summaries? Why do you think that is? So try to do this activity with your partner or with your colleagues. So start note-taking techniques practice. These activities include note-taking techniques in practice. What is the objective of this activity is practice different note-taking methods to enhance listening skills. What you have to do in this activity? Select an informative audio clip. Choose a lecture or educational video. It, your video should be at least 5 to 10 minutes. Choose a note-taking method like mind mapping or chronal method. See, by chronal method, it is divided into 3 sections. That you take your notes, cues, or summary. Start writing your paper. Write, give in your paper. Write 1, 2, 3 notes, cues, and summary. Or mind mapping, you can also start the visualization representation in your mind that what the information has been saying, and you can also retain in your memory and you can recall it. Take notes while listening. You also make notes what the chosen method you have taken in the notes and what the educational video is all about. Review and discussion with your partner. Share your notes with your partner or group and discuss with the effectiveness of the note-taking method. Afterwards, you can discuss some points with your colleagues or friends or in your groups. Which note-taking method did you find most effective? How did the chosen method help you organize the information? Would you use this method again? Why or why not? Next is focus on speakers' cues. This activity's objective is improve the ability to interpret non-verbal cues, enhance comprehension. See, I already told you what is non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues are those which is used by your hand gestures, your body posture, your nodding, your facial expressions. It all come into the non-verbal cues. So there is some activity regarding on focus on speakers' cues are watch a video lecture or presentation. Choose a video where the speaker use clear non-verbal clues. Start watching that video that only the speaker is using non-verbal cues, not any verbal cues. Identify cues. Pay attention to the speaker tone, pace, facial expressions, and gestures. What type of gestures the speaker is using, what type of tone the speaker is using. Try to recognize their facial expressions. What are the observations you were discussed with your speaker, with your group or your partner? Share with your partner or group with the non-verbal cues and notice that how contribute to the message, how the message is to be contributed to the your partner or your group. After the activity, you will discuss with points that which normal cues were most noticeable. How did the speaker's body language affect your understanding? Can non-verbal cues change the perceived meaning by the spoken word? So these are the three questions which all you have to mention, you have to write down in your copies or in your notebooks, that how this activity will going further. Next is using technology for listening practice. Mostly students use today technologies. Basically, the objective of this activity is utilize technology to improve listening skills. Activity is choose a language learning app. Try to find out any app. There's a lot of app for learning language learning apps. There's a lot of language learning apps on the Play stores or in iOS. Start completing a listening exercise. Give each activity for 15 to 20 minutes, and transcribe. Try to write or write down and make a note for that audio clip or what you're watching out. Compare the transcriptions. Try to compare what the original audio and what you identify or what the original video was. So discuss points are: how did the app exercise help improve your listening skills? Were there any challenges in transcribing the audio? How can technology be integrated in your regular listening practices? So these are the basically you can use any technology workers or any listening practices by using different apps of learning. So try to do this activity. Next is story reconstruction. The objective of this activity is improve attention to detail and memory. Activity is listening to a story. Choose a short story or an expert from a book around 3 to 5 minutes long. Reconstruct the story. After listening, try to reconstruct the story in detail and write down the sequence event. Their characters, their major plot points, what are the plot points are there, what are the main characters you are playing. So try to write according to you. Then share with your partner, with your group, and discuss the piece of together what accurate version of the story came out. Afterwards, discussion points are: what detail was easy to remember? What was challenging? How did discussing with other help improve your understanding of the story? What strategy you used to remember more details next time? Next is listening for emotion. Objective of this activity is develop empathy and emotion intelligence. So, activity of this particular activity of this particular topic: select an audio clip. Choose an interview, podcast, or conversation where the speaker express their emotions. Emotion could be your happiness, your anger, your sadness, your your empathiness and the sympathetic nature, any type of anger, any type of emotions is a speaker is expressing. So identify the emotions, what type of emotions the speaker is using. Note tone of the voice, that word choice. When you are taking too many pauses and emphases, a person is in anger or in an anxiety form. If the voice of tone is going to be high, so it known that he or she is an anger form. If he expressing their views, they just lower up your voice and start speaking like this. So you have to identify the emotions and discuss with your partner, and discuss the speaker emotions, that what affected message, how you interpreted it. Then you will discuss the points. How did you identify the speaker emotion? Did the emotion change your understanding of the consent? How can being aware of emotions improve your listening skills? Next is understanding accent and delegates. See, there's a lot of language over there in this world, but in English form, there's a lot of different type of English forms also. British English, Australian English, Southern English, US English, many type of English, but we are not able to get that difficult language of English. So we will just start these subscriptions, and they were like, oh, I have just seen the, I'm just reading out here. So basically, of the objective of this activity is to improve comprehension of different accent and dialects. Activity of this particular topic is select diverse audio clips. Choose audio clips featuring a speaker with various accent and dialects, which I already told you. Listen and notes difference. Listen to each clip and note any difference in pronunciation, intonations, vocabulary. Just write down. Summarize content, go through with each clips and ensure that what you understand and what you wrote on your copy. Discuss challenges. Yes, discuss with your group, within your group or with your partner. Try to face your challenges and how you overcome. Discussion points are which accent or delegates were easiest and hardest to understand. Why? What strategies help you comprehend the content better? How can practicing with different accent improve overall listening skills? So try to do these activities which I upload here. Try to do these activities with your partners, with your colleagues, within your friends, or any group. Next is listening and drawing. Objective of this listening and drawing of this activity is enhance listening accuracy and detailed retention. Activity is listening to the description, which audio you have been taken. Try to listen carefully what the sense is, what the object is, and what the person is want to try to say. For example, a podcast describing a famous painting or a travel guide. So you have to keep in your mind that what the description is all about. Compare and discuss. Compare and discussion with your partner and group, and compare the actual description, what is the image if available. Discussion points: how accurately did your drawing reflect the description? What details were most challenging to capture? How can visualizing improve your listening skills? Next is debate listening exercise. Is the main objective of this exercise is improve critical listening and argument analysis. Activity is listen to a debate. Choose an audio recording of a debate or a panel discussion on a controversial topic. Take a controversial topic and start writing a panel discussion and start doing a panel discussion with your partner. Identify arguments. What type of arguments they are involving? Basically by the speaker, and the what are the support points and evidences you are using it. How you evaluate the arguments. Discuss with your partner or group with arguments they are most convincing and why. They evaluate their weaknesses and the strength of each argument. Discuss points. Which argument were most persuasive? Why? How did the speaker delivery affect the strength of the argument? What did you learn about effective argument through this exercise? Listening for solution. Objective of this activity is develop problem solving skills through listening. Activity is listen to a problem solving scenario. Choose an audio clip where a problem is presented and possible solutions are discussed. For example, take a business meeting or a brainstorming session. Then identify the solution, listen carefully and propose the solution with your pros and cons. Write down on your paper what are the pros and cons of this video. Discuss with and choose the best solution with your partner. What is the best way to think and what are the solutions and why? Discuss the points. What criteria did you choose to evaluate the solution? Did any solution stand out as a particularly innovative or effective? How can listening for solution help in real life problem solving situations? So kindly go through all the activities which I told you, right? These will help you in your mental scenario, listening solution, problem solving skills, and many more. Next is predicting outcomes. So the objective of this activity is to enhance predictive listening and critical thinking. Activity of this predicting outcomes is listening to a story and or new segments. Choose an audio clip that describes an unfolding event or a story, but stop before the conclusion. Predict the outcome based on the information which is provided and predict what will be happen next in the story and it will be end. Listening to the conclusion, play the reminder of the audio clip and hear the actual outcome. What is the actual outcome of this the theory? Discuss predictions with your partner, colleagues, or the group. How accurate the predictions were and what clues you led to those predictions. And discuss points. Remember, you have to discuss all the points which I upload in this video. Each activity. What clues help you predict the outcome? How did your prediction compare to the actual outcome? How can predicting outcome improve your listening skills? So these are the 15 activity which I discussed right now. You all have to discuss and write down all the activities and discuss points with your colleagues, with your friends, with your relatives, in your groups. Try to do it. Thank you.